Well, we're joined now here in the studio by Bayan Abdul Rahman, the Kurdistan Regional Government High Representative here in the UK, and Dr Zuhair Al-Naher, a spokesman for the Islamic Dawa Party, the ruling Shia party in Iraq, which includes the embattled Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. Thanks for coming in, both of you. Let me start with you, Bayan. I mean, we've talked about this situation before. It seems to be getting worse every week. Are we now facing the prospect of genocide, as some people have suggested, in northern Iraq?
We are, absolutely. We're watching genocide unfold, and it's very difficult to watch those reports by brave reporters like Jonathan Rugman, who go on these missions and are able to report what the rest of us hear about. It's really harrowing. In 1991, people en masse fled to the mountains because they feared the use of chemical weapons. Now people in Sinjar are fleeing because they fear the Islamic State, who are absolutely barbaric and evil. We are seeing genocide unfold. How many genocides do the Kurdish people have to go through before the world will intervene?
How many genocides do they have to go through before the Iraqi government gets its act together and stops the fragmentation of the country?
I mean, the current situation is not just related to the Iraqi government. This has been an ongoing situation.
Some people would disagree with that.
Well, the reason why the ISIS terrorists were able to come and occupy cities in Iraq is as a result of the vacuum that was left in Syria and their ability to move across borders. Of course, it is very important now that a new Iraqi government is formed, that is inclusive, and that is able to tackle these problems that Iraq has.
Many people say, including in Washington and in Britain, that the problem here, the key political problem, is your boss, former boss, Nouri al-Maliki, the embattled Prime Minister, clinging on to power. Do you agree with that, first of all? And do you want him to leave office?
Well, at the moment, the largest political bloc, the National Alliance, has voted and has recommended Dr Haider al-Abadi for the Prime Minister role, and that has been endorsed by the President.
Right.
So we have a new Prime Minister.
Okay, so are you happy with that? If Mr. al-Abadi becomes the new Prime Minister, does that go towards solving the political crisis at the heart of this chaos?
Well, symbolically, I think it's very important that we have a new Prime Minister in Iraq.
But is he the right man as far as you're concerned?
Well, there's a question over that, if you want the truth, because Mr. al-Abadi has been the architect, or one of the architects, of the economic bias against Kurdistan that's been emanating from Baghdad. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully this is the beginning of a new era.
But there are no perfect solutions here, are there? So there has to be a compromise from somewhere, because if not, Iraq will fragment. It will literally come apart at the seams.
No sector of the Iraqi population wants fragmentation, neither the Kurds, the Shias, or the Sunnis. And we are hoping that with a new Prime Minister who has more ability to be inclusive, who has more technocratic skills, and who has good relations with all political sectors, we believe that this is a new beginning and this will be successful.
But he is the new Prime Minister of the old Shia party that has been accused by moderate Sunnis, not just members of Islamic State, of being far too partisan, of accusing the army of basically becoming the Shia private army of the government.
These are issues that the new Prime Minister will have to come to grips with and will have to solve, and I believe he has the ability and capability and character to be able to do that.
Bayan, the final question to you. I mean, we've got the military airstrikes taking place. First of all, is that enough? And secondly, isn't this crisis a bit of an opportunity for you? Because ultimately, Kurds can only rely on themselves, and the only way forward for you might be an independent state?
Well, the airstrikes are very welcome and very necessary. Thanks to the airstrikes, the Peshmerga have been able to regain some of their momentum and push back on ISIS. But we need much more than that. We need weapons. We need to have the Peshmerga as well armed as the Islamic State fighters are. We need more intelligence, and frankly, Britain needs to step up and play a bigger role as well. With regards to independence, every Kurd wants independence in their heart. But besides that, we haven't really been allowed to enjoy being Iraqis. What benefit have we ever seen out of being an Iraqi? We have seen waves of genocide from the 50s and 60s onwards. We're seeing genocide today on Mount Sinjar. What benefit have we seen out of being in this country? Unless the new Prime Minister turns over a new leaf for our country, then yes, we are facing that prospect.
Good question. Thanks both of you for coming in. Bayan Abdul Rahman and Zuhair Al-Naher, thank you very much indeed. And you can see that dramatic account by Jonathan Rugman in full and read more from our teams on the ground on our website, of course, channel4.com/news.